Communications Director, and want to just thank you guys so much for being here. This press conference will go as follows. Tom will give a quick opening statement about our new head coach. We'll then hear from Coach Lee Cummard, and then following him, we'll open it up to some questions.
Thank you, Austin. We're here today to introduce our new women's basketball coach here at BYU, Lee Cummard. And I'd like to say a few words before he comes up to the podium to comment and address the media. When I first met Lee, he was a basketball player here at BYU. It was a great time, and I got to see him grow as a basketball player here as a Cougar. And I wondered where life would take him. He had an opportunity to play some basketball professionally, a little G League, a little overseas, and they were very fortunate to get him back. He had experiences here with our men's basketball team, and he had some experience with our women's basketball team in coaching capacities. And it was during that time that we could see him mature and see him grow as a coach. Coaching is very difficult in this day and age. There's a lot of responsibilities. There's a lot of things that have not been seen in the past. And many of our coaches in all sports are doing things that are really outside what they were trained to do. There's really no pathways that people have trod to get to this point. And this is one of the reasons why I think Lee is the right coach at the right time for here at BYU. He's tough. He has this right balance between fire and ice. He can be strong, he can be tough, he can be very competitive. He also can be compassionate. He can be understanding. He can have a listening ear. And it's just what we need at this point in time. We're super stoked to have one of our very own that's been a champion here at BYU in the past and will be a champion again in the future. Lee Cummard.
Thank you, Tom and Brian, for everything. I couldn't start this without thanking my Heavenly Father for blessing me with this opportunity to kind of be a steward over this program. I'm grateful for his impact and how I feel him in my life every day. My wife and kids are in Arizona on spring break, but I want to thank them for their support throughout this whole process. They've been in this journey with me for quite some time, and I've been really fortunate to be able to be here for as long as I am. I came here to BYU on May 1st. It'll be 20 years, and I've loved my time at BYU up until this point, and I know I'm going to love my time going forward. I would like to give a special thanks to President Reese and President Vorking for their support throughout this process and in my time here with them. They've been great to me and to my family, so I'm really grateful for them. I'd like to thank the coaches that I've had over the years, coaches that I played for in high school, Coach Lynch, Coach Burkar, and to Coach Rose, who I communicated with this morning. I'm grateful for him and for him allowing me to come here as a player all those years ago. Really grateful for the coaches that I've worked for here. In my opinion, I've worked for two of the greatest coaches at BYU, and Coach Rose on the men's side and Coach Judkins on the women's side, and learned so much from them. Grateful for Coach Whiting and everything that I learned from her the last few years working with her and for her. Couldn't have done this without all the players over the years. Super grateful for them and for them allowing me to coach them hard and be a part of their lives. That's for the past players and for the current players that we have here. Really excited for the future of the program and the players that are going to be a part of it. We got a couple missionaries out there right now, super excited to coach them. Like I said, we got a great group of players coming back next season that I'm really excited to coach, and as well as those that are to come. We got people on campus right now that I hope that we can get into the Cougar family and be a part of this. So good things are happening. At BYU, there is a tradition of winning, okay, and there's a commitment to it, and I fully intend to live up to that commitment and that winning tradition. As I told the players earlier today, that excellence is the expectation, and that's how we do everything. It's in our mindset, it's in our approach to things, it's in our preparation, it's how we work. That's the expectation, and they know that, and they're wanting that. Like I said, I came here 20 years ago as a kid that really didn't know what he was getting involved in here at BYU, and the way that this place has shaped my life has been tremendous. I've grown in every aspect of my life, that's as a person, in my spiritual walk, and I've grown tremendously in my relationship with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I want everybody to know that. And I want everybody to know that that's where we're going with this program. We want everybody that comes here to be who they are supposed to be. And I shared that with the group this morning, that whoever you're supposed to be, that's what the expectations are for you. And I know that they'll improve as individuals on the court, but most importantly off the court. And I think with all that, I'm ready to get to work. So, any questions?
Mitch Harper, KSL Sports. Lee, take us through the process, the timeline of how things came to be, and how now you're the head coach.
Great. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks for being here today. So we played in the Big 12 tournament on March 5th. The change happened, I believe that's Saturday. And from that point on, administration asked me to be the head coach and function as if that was the case. And I did just that. I got with the staff immediately, kind of put a plan in place as far as, hey, what does this look like for the program? And just went about the day, went about the weeks in between, focused solely on the program. Hey, what do we need to do to improve, get better, plan for the next season? And in the more recent days, had some great conversations with Brian and Tom, as well as with others, President Reese and Vorkink, and wasn't sure of the timing of everything, but it kind of all came together in the last little bit. So.
Jay Drew, Deseret News. Congratulations, Lee. What will be the trademarks of your program? What changes will you make to the existing program? And just what will be the hallmarks of a Lee Cummard coach team?
Sure, thanks, Jay. It's good to have you ask me questions again. It's been a while. I kind of stated a little bit, excellence will be the expectation. BYU is a fantastic university that has all the support in the world needed to succeed and to fly, and we intend to just do that. Addressed a little bit about the work ethic and doing it with the right people, doing it the right way, and fully intend for that to be the case. I think for me right now, that's what I'm solely focused on, is driving what this is going to look like for the group, who is going to be a part of this, and going to be really stingy about the culture or the BYU way of doing things. And the girls know that, and excited for that. I mean, I would imagine it looks a lot like how I played. Scrappy, tough, work ethics there. Tom talked about competitiveness. We're going to have all of that, and you're going to be able to see that when we're on the court. And a lot of three-pointers. So.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Papenga, and I'm here with Cougar Sports. And so you mentioned how you played and how you want your team to be like that. How much do you feel like your playing time has affected your coaching style?
Jasmine, thanks for the question. It's a part of it. I mean, I've played and coached with varying degrees of coaches that have completely different philosophies. And so a lot of it will be personnel based. Like I said, we have a great group that's wanting to return, and factoring that into how we approach things, whether it's offensively, defensively. All of that goes into it. My playing career, what made sense for me, what I liked as a player, from my position. All that's going to be included into this process, and then factoring in who else we add to the personnel, and playing off strengths and focusing on, hey, what can somebody bring to the table versus some of their limitations.
Darnell Dixon, the Daily Herald. Congratulations, Lee. As you take this job as the head coach, you've been involved in the recruiting as an assistant, but what do you feel like are the selling points that you can emphasize when you're recruiting players to come to play for this program right now?
Sure. Thanks, Darnell. It's good to see you again, too. I don't think the message changes much in the recruiting process. Hey, great university with great people surrounding you the entire time you're going to be here. You're going to evolve as a person and as a player, and promise you'll become a better shooter for sure. In it, just focusing more on the college experience, how we're going to add value to your life, build you up as a person. And on the court, I'm not naive. Winning is a big part of a great college experience, okay? As a player here, and I love my experience at BYU, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I know a lot of that had to do with us winning games, cutting down nets. That's part of the whole player experience. And I want to focus on that with the players, and that's what we'll build from. Whole, complete player experience.
Jackson Payne, Deseret News. Lee, you mentioned coming here for the first time 20 years ago. You're still here. I mean, I don't know if you've ever explored opportunities to coach elsewhere, but what has kept you at BYU for so long as a BYU lifer?
Yeah, thanks, Jackson. I'm ingrained in this place. I mean, my kids are ingrained in this place. We've been here for so long. I told the group this morning, like, I literally have BYU, like, pumping through my veins kind of thing. Doesn't mean there hasn't been other opportunities. And in the time, some of them got explored, and most of them were easily pushed to the side. I've had a lot of people in my corner for a long time here at BYU, and they've been really supportive as far as keeping me moving forward, right? Because it's a challenging profession. There's quite a bit of change, and times get hard, but that's the fun part. It's when I think back to even just the coaching, right, when I came back in 2016 with Coach Rose, just the journey from then until now, right? But the whole, from May 1st of 2005 till now, just the journey has been such a blast. I really feel like for some reason I'm supposed to be at BYU, and I'm not mad about that. This is, like I said, unbelievable place, and the people that want to be here and dive into this place head first, amazing things happen. Much more than you could ever imagine would happen for that individual. And that's how I truly feel.
Sean Walker from KSL, and congrats, Lee, and happy birthday, by the way. Not that we need to be reminded of that in our age. But you mentioned kind of your experience on 3 different staffs now here at BYU, one on the men's side, and then obviously Juddy and Coach Whiting. How have you sort of grown, or how are you maybe the most different? I won't ask how you've grown, we'd be here 5 hours, but how are you the most different from kind of the guy who started each of those previous staffs, I guess, with women's basketball?
Sure. I mean, I've learned so much from Dave and Coach Judkins and Amber in this process. They all had very unique approaches to it, and that's either on the court or with the players. As a player for Coach Rose, I never thought he really spent a whole lot of time sitting around thinking about the players, and all he wanted to do was just make us work really hard. And then I came and I joined his staff, and I was amazed at how much time he spent on the players, thinking about them, trying to reach them and elevate them. One thing that I learned from him as a player, he had us believing, and you got to remember, it's a guy's locker room who all think they're the best player on the planet, right? But he had us all believing more than we even thought we could do. And that's probably my biggest thing. He cared about the players and really emphasize just a belief that I still feel to this day. With Coach Judkins, I mean, the way he connected in his own way with the players was super impressive. And he'd get that little Juddy smile and his dimple, and he would connect in his own way. I think that was pretty impressive. And just his knowledge of the game, X's and O's, I learned a ton from him in my time with that. And then Coach White in the fight that she brought every day, and the diligence and how she approached things was pretty impressive, and I'll take that from her. And I really love the Whitings, and I'm grateful for her allowing me to be at BYU with her. I told the team when the change first happened of how much she cared for them, and we should all be grateful for her because we're all here because of her, right? And so, but her diligence, I'll take from her. And so just some of those things, I think, for me, none of those guys played here, right? I really feel like that's a competitive advantage for me, the whole BYU experience. I might die on that hill, but I want people to want to be here, to want to represent the BYU that, goes on the front of the jersey and are less concerned about the name on the back of the jersey. And that's kind of how I'll be the most different.
Lee, how involved are you going to be in trying to build up the fan base for this women's basketball program? It seems like that's been a strength for football and men's basketball, the game day environment. How are you going to go about trying to build up this fan base to, where it's one of the tops in the Big 12?
Sure. Great question. I think that we got to put a better product on the floor. I think people want to see points scored. I think people want to see fight and toughness. We play in the best conference in the country as it pertains to women's basketball. And I think the sport is right? You're seeing it being elevated across the country. The girls on our team currently have stories to tell. And if we win, that all becomes visible. And I think it just generates a lot more eyes to it. We go to some of these Midwest schools in the league, and they have great fan bases. I mean, they're there early, they cheer loud, and we'll get out. We'll do the legwork. It won't be for a lack of work, but I think as we put a exciting product on the court, people want to get behind that. And as one of the things we discuss as a staff is just doing more that binds us to the community, and whatever that looks like. Because as these young athletes, these young women get in front of people and they connect, it's easy to get behind. It's tremendous, and they'll come out for it.
You've mentioned a lot about personnel and having players who want to be here. So with a player that you can build a program around, like Delaney Gibb, what's your strategy to keep her in the building?
Sure. Had some great conversations with Delaney. Everybody on the team currently wants to be here, and we're excited about that. We know we have to add a couple things in the portal, but we want this place to be about development and coming here and working and earning your stripes. Delaney's a fantastic human being and a player, and she wants to do it with the group, and that's what's most special about her.
Jackson Winder, Daily Universe. Coach, like you said, you talked about, wanting to build this program up to its winning ways like it used to be. With the changing landscape in college basketball for women's, NIL has been a big topic of discussion, along with the transfer portal. How are you going to utilize that to build up the team?
Sure. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the portal went live Tuesday for women's basketball, and as we navigate that, it's very clear who's chasing money and who's not in those conversations. The people chasing money, we kind of just, hey, you're a great talent, but, the administration's been really supportive in that area, and we're grateful for that. And we've approached it more focused on people that want to be here and be a part of something bigger than themselves, and knowing, hey, we want everybody to feel valued and appreciated in the financial aspect of that. But administration's been great, super supportive in regards to that.
All the way in the back here, Coach. Andrea Urban with Fox 13. Congratulations. You've alluded to it a lot throughout this press conference, but I just wanted to ask you, you mentioned faith, and you've also mentioned what you're looking for on the floor. Simple, what do you want the identity of your team to be?
It's a great question. Thank you for that. I want people to really enjoy watching the group play, right? I'll use the men's basketball team as an alumni. I was really proud the way they represented things, okay? And we'll do it our own way, right, with great people. But as somebody who watches games, I want people to walk away from that thinking like, hey, they played really hard. They played the right way. They shared it with each other. There's a genuineness about how they interacted with each other and cheered each other on when somebody made a great play. And I think everything else kind of takes care of itself, truthfully.
Hi, I was asked to ask a question on behalf of the girls. Just kind of wanted to ask kind of what your message is to us core group moving forward.
Awesome. Thanks, Mariah, for that. I've expressed it to you, but I'll express it again. You guys are here for a reason. You guys fit BYU and are tremendous talents as people and as basketball players. Got a lot of good momentum going and a lot of good things ahead of us. And I know that if we work hard, right, and do it together, sky's the limit for us.
Thank you guys so much for coming to this press conference. We're going to do a couple of one-on-ones for those that have contacted me previously. We're going to take Coach Cummard upstairs, get those taken care of. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, everyone.